Maria Fernanda Perez Arguello joins us with her analysis of the elections. She's the Associate Director of the Adrienne Arsht Latin American Center at the Atlantic Council. Maria, thank you so much for coming on Sunday.
Thank you, Frank.
What do you think the opposition parties, the leaders leading in the polls say about the landscape of Panamanian politics and the Panamanian people?
Panamanian politics is at a crossroads at this moment. Like you pointed out in your opening statements, corruption is the #1 concern for voters. Corruption, crime, unemployment, the economy, in that order. Like you were saying, the economy has been deaccelerating. It has been slowing down. There was a high point a few years ago where the economy grew by 10%. Right now it's at 3.7 approximately. And although that number is good in terms of the other Latin American countries, we have seen the economy growing slower, and a big issue for the voters as well is inequality.
That was what I was going to ask you. Corruption, the Panama Papers revealed the fact that, or they alleged the fact that it has been a tax haven for the super rich of the world, and also there was allegations about bribery for Panama's major construction projects. How do you think the new president can tackle those issues?
Well, corruption is a big issue in Latin America. We have seen a strong anti-corruption sentiment sweep over the region. We see that in the results of the past elections in 2018 in the other countries. And so I think that the third candidate, the independent Ricardo Lombana, who comes with a strong anti-corruption message, is going to appeal to many voters. We have yet to see if he will be the winner. The polls don't show him to be the winner. And it is very unlikely in Panama, if you're not a registered party, it is very hard to get financial backing, and so that makes it really difficult. But I think definitely he's a candidate to watch for the 2024 elections. Mm-hmm.
Talking about the economy, Panama used to boast one of the highest GDP per capita among all the Latin American countries. Its GDP per capita was even comparable to some European countries like Hungary and Croatia. No longer the case. How do you think the new president can reinvigorate the growth?
There's going to be a lot of challenges for the new president. Panama is considered by some the Singapore of Latin America. It has also been called the Dubai of Latin America. And like we were saying at the beginning, it has one of the higher growth rates than any country in Latin America. A big issue, a structural issue in the country is inequality. After Brazil and Haiti, it has one of the highest inequality rates in the region. And so that's going to be a difficult issue to tackle for the new president.
Regarding Panama's foreign policy, China and the U.S. are two obvious powers in the region. The Secretary of State of the U.S., Mike Pompeo, called China a neo-colonialist power in Latin America. He talked as if Panama has to choose, or other Latin American countries for that matter, have to choose between China and the U.S. How do you think the next Panamanian leader will do?
Definitely one of Juan Carlos Varela's, the outgoing president's biggest legacies is going to be the switch in relations from Taiwan to China. He has welcomed China with open arms. Like we heard from the reporter, Xi visited Panama in 2018 after he was at the G20 meeting. Juan Carlos Varela has been in China several times, 2 or 3 times if I'm not mistaken. And I think that Panama can be a great example for the other countries in Latin America. Like you were saying, it's not either or. We heard in these remarks, for Panama, Washington is going to be the first partner, but that doesn't mean that there can be other partners. And I think we should be going towards a world where countries can have more than one partner, and that's welcome. That's good.
Let's see what happens next. Maria, thanks so much for your insight.
Thank you, Frank.